Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we bring you the latest from the majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Memecoins, and NFTs. Today, we're going to talk about GameStop's new Bitcoin Treasury strategy, infusing some more buy pressure onto Bitcoin. We're going to talk about Ripple finally concluding their case to the SEC. I feel like we've said this about 5 times, but it seems like the end is finally here. And we're going to talk about a thesis and impressive P&L on Fcoin from none other than the Bonk Guy. I'm joined this morning by Easy and Clemente. We got Easy in a dungeon here. How you feeling today, Easy?
I feel like shit. Whenever I cough, it hurts.
Oh no. Gotta get that Dayquil. How you doing?
I ripped Dayquil this morning, but yeah, dude, I don't fucking know. I think I'm gonna finally go to a doctor. It's not fun.
Yeah, get some Tamiflu, get something going. Gotta get that energy back. Gotta get that trading game going. I feel like we can't have you down in the dumps here.
I had another 50 sold day yesterday.
Ooh, maybe stay sick.
Free BitBoy.
Free BitBoy.
Caught it at 100K before it ran to 1.4 mil. There's a beauty. Still papered it, of course. Dude, what sucks, this Ghibli thing. Did you guys see this? Like everyone doing the Ghibli art, Studio Ghibli?
I have no idea what that is.
So Studio Ghibli is an anime style like art. It's a well-known Japanese animation movie thing. They have The Boy and the Heron, and oh my god, I'm having like the worst brain fog. They have another movie that's fucking awesome. And ChatGPT 4 lets you like do their new video edit stuff that's going on, or picture editing stuff. This thing launched called Ghiblification 3 hours ago, launched at 6 a.m. and just one-way trained to 2 mil. So
is it this one?
It's like a Lance picture. Yeah. So if you go on and just click like the Twitter thing, it'll pull up a search called Ghibli. The very first one is a Studio Ghibli of 9/11 and Bush getting whispered in his ear. So yeah, there's still let's actually share that because I think it's some high quality content for the stream. Yeah, so that's obviously the first picture. Feels a little dark, but yeah. So all the Ghibli stuff, they keep doing that. Yeah, they've done a good job with it, and for some reason, this has been like the trend. People have decided that this is the route that they want to go. Well, I think it's pretty cool, but the meme coin ran hard as hell.
I think this is kind of flash in the pan.
100%,
dude. 100%. You're such a boomer, Ray. Come on, this is viral, Ray. I just bought some. What is it? 1.5 mil. This thing runs to at least 5.
You actually did just buy some. Wow.
What do you think? I'm playing around here, dude?
Just
so the audience knows, we're not playing today. We're not. There was a moment today. Well, first off, I woke up. I thought I had pink eye. My eye was like, it's still.
Oh, you were doing that thing again, weren't you? You were doing that thing.
It's called allergies, Clemente.
You were doing that thing. You were.
But
I did it. Hey, see, Doug.
All right, hold on. I gotta get my hard-boiled eggs out of this thing because they're overflowing. But I'm not playing today. It's just I had way too many people talking shit to me recently, and it's time to like lock in and just show them what's up.
Ghibli about to approach new all-time highs after your buy there, Clemente. Kicks, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good, dude. Made some good trades recently. Changing my lifestyle a little bit. Not using the phone much. Ooh. Getting away from like the screen time, excessive screen time.
I'm just gonna say that changes nothing because like you still don't answer.
Dude, look at this freeze.
That's a crazy freeze.
Somebody screen cap that one.
Need that.
The kicks there.
Got the screen
that's
grab.
why I'm not answering though. It's different now. I used to not answer.
So this is the excuse.
Yeah, now I'm just like I check my phone once a day, dude. It's phenomenal, dude. I've been reading the sci-fi book called Exodus, making some strategic plays here and there, not worrying about the noise, very zen, just look at my shoulders right now. Like it's fucking unbelievable.
They're so low. Why are they so low?
They're jacked, dude.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Dude,
Clemente is just absolutely crushing this trade already. This is unreal. Look at this. He bought right here 1.6. This thing's about to cross 2.
I'm pretty sure I pinged you, Ray, in Bodagas. I was like, dude, is there a Ghibli meme coin? Yeah. You said, what's a Ghibli?
Yeah, I said, what's a Ghibli? I had no idea. Well, Easy just dropped.
God, you're out of touch, dude. I'm not even looking at my phone at all, and I know what's going on with the Gibby meme.
Oh, I'm already in the new meme though. I think this new one's got a ton of level, like a ton of traction. I can't share it though. It's only a 200K market cap.
Oh my god, dude.
It's not woke Disney, is it?
No, it's a North Korea meme.
Interesting.
Now you got my attention.
I don't see any of these meme coins. I don't see any of these memes. I don't see any of it outside of people who've already bought and are sharing it. Like, I'm not seeing the trends on the timeline. My timeline is completely like crypto data and news.
I've been so locked in on the new memes, dude. As a boomer, like, yeah, C-Dog, you're up. Even as a boomer, dude, I've been so locked in. I was early on routine, paper handed it. I've been seeing the Ghiblis. Shout out C-Dog aping the top and for it to go higher. Did you take care of that?
No.
I'll tell you what, this Gibby meme coin looks like complete cabal manufactured shit though. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Clemente bought and like the candle. Look at the volume candle after Clemente bought.
Right, I just moved the market.
Volume candle that it's had this entire run.
Yeah, but here's the thing, dude. So Ghibli, the fucking PFP they chose isn't even like Ghibli. It's not even the style. It's a picture of fucking.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's a picture of Elon.
This is it.
Yeah, but it's
Elon
Ghibli style.
Oh, it's Ghibli style. Okay,
that's not his actual PFP.
You're right.
His actual
100%.
PFP is a retardio cousin.
It's like
okay.
Like smash.
Stop being poor, don't tread on me. I mean, actually, I kind of like that, to be honest with you. But yeah, why to go? You see on the thing, it went from 59K to 1 million in 1 wick.
No, it didn't. This is raise on the 30.
Is this because I'm on stupid fucking legacy Bull-X?
Use on mine.
Yeah, look, it went straight. What are you talking about? On his screen, it did. What are you talking about?
No, it took
here.
5 minutes. It got to 250K.
That's 30 seconds.
I'm on the 30-second chart here.
Okay.
What are you talking about, Clemente?
Can I share mine? Because I'm seeing something completely different. Look at that.
See, that looks normal.
Yeah. This looks fantastic. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing.
So what's happening? What's happening with the data here?
I don't know.
Because I swear this has happened to me before. I looked at a meme coin on Bull-X and it was straight line up. And when you see the straight line up, you assume someone sniped it, right? And they're going to dump all over your heads. Then I looked at the chart later and it's like it just disappeared. It was like the most organic looking thing ever. I'm like, never mind. What the fuck's going on? Is this because of pump swap?
Something's going on.
Stuff is cool.
Stuff too.
Look at this.
Yeah, the Ghibli stuff is cool and it's like permeated like all of Twitter. I mean, that ice cube in that picture looks weird as hell. It looks like a
Why'd that make
fish
it look
bone.
like you were drinking piss?
I don't know.
Yeah, that shit look weird, dude. It looked like a fish bone.
I feel like
ice cube,
like a Ghibli meme coin, like something that's made with Ghibli, be the better meme coin than Ghiblification Ghibli.
What the fuck do you mean made with Ghibli? That was a crazy background. If you saw that. That was crazy. That was absolutely diabolical.
Was this?
Did you guys not see the waiting room just now?
P.O. popped in.
Just shirtless.
I didn't see he was shirtless. I saw.
Oh God, we're about to hear him talk for 10 minutes about how Bitcoin's up 3%. Huh? Let's hurry up. Let's get in some other stuff.
Strife is about to start trading today on the Nasdaq.
Oh God. Okay, let's hurry up. Let's get going.
All right, we'll give you the weather here in a second, Kicks. I'll give you a second to bring that up. Before we do, we want to let you know this show is brought to you in partnership with DYDX. We love working with DYDX. Easy has absolutely crushed our Perps account. I'm going to have him pull that up. DYDX, if you weren't listening earlier this week, they finally launched a token buyback program for the DYDX token. 25% of DYDX protocol fees are going to be used to buy back DYDX tokens from the open market. So essentially, if you're trading on DYDX, you're also participating in this token buyback. If you think that the DYDX token and the utility that it offers makes sense, there's going to be a little more buy pressure here on those tokens. I think holders are happy. This passed almost unanimously. Easy. What are we looking at? How's our account doing?
We're break even on the long right now. I still like it though. We got a little bull flag forming. I'm hoping we get some price action just like this, where it chops down. Give me that, give me that, give me that. And then all of a sudden, a nice, beautiful break higher. Give me that, give me that, give me that. So if we can get a nice Elliott wave theory, we're going to get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we're looking for here, chat.
Let's go. And Easy's got the Sol long open on DYDX right now. Decentralized perps. That means there's no central entity. Nobody is controlling it. It is completely decentralized. You actually can even hop on here and launch your own perps pairs. Like,
how do
there's
you not short this thing though?
What is this? Move?
Move. This is the one that just got like market made by that shady market maker.
My problem with shorting anything right now is I think we're in an uptrend, and rising tide lifts move as well. That's my only concern here. I do think this goes longer paired against the other ones.
Ray, if you were a perpetuals future on DYDX, I'd long you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. That needs to be a Valentine's Day card. I like it. I want to talk more about price action.
Can't get any tinier.
Yeah, I want to talk about more about price action and the market as a whole. We have Kicks and Easy to break that down. But why don't we kick it away with the weather report, Kicks, and then we'll dive into some more deep dive analysis, figuring out where we are in this cycle.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday, March 26th. Looking over at the crypto roundup, the majors chopping on the day with Bitcoin just under 88K, Ethereum just under 2,100, Solana right around 145. Over the past 24 hours, GameStop's board unanimously approved Bitcoin Treasury strategy. GameStop has over $4 billion in cash on hand and is up 13% in pre-market trading on the news to $25.40. Next up, Solana makes a splash as tech entrepreneur Nikita Bier joined as an advisor. Bier previously founded TBH and Gas, which were acquired by Facebook and Discord, respectively. For those people that do not know, he's considered one of the best social consumer app creators out there. So this is a big deal in my opinion. His write-up, even more of a big deal in my opinion. Bier will be working with select Solana companies to help launch and grow their apps. Finally, the end is finally here for a years-long lawsuit as Ripple accepted a settlement from the SEC. The settlement has reduced the fine from 125 to 50 million. It brings closure to the legal saga that began in 2020. That's pretty bullish. And that's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kicks. I like this. This little thing. I don't know legalese and speak here, but this just sounds so funny. The SEC has also indicated its intention to ask Judge Shortage to lift the obey the law injunction that was previously imposed on the firm. Were they telling them to obey the law? And they're like, no, actually, we could take that part out now. Crime completely legal. No longer have to do this obey the law.
No, bro. He's talking about the SEC there.
The SEC wants the judge to lift the obey the law injunction.
That was imposed on the firm, on the SEC.
Oh, interesting.
Because this was at the point, I may be wrong, but this was at the point where the judge, in one of these cases, the SEC was acting so ludicrously that they were like, you have to, maybe I'm reading it wrong, but yeah, wild, dude.
Yeah. Love to see that. Love to see that finally ending. I don't know if it's moved the price on XRP. I don't think it did very much. That's already.
It was already priced in
3 times. Yeah. XRP is basically even on the day in pace of the other majors. $2.40. $142 billion market cap. Talking about other majors, though, I'm really curious to get Kicks, your take on where we are after a couple green days. You want to pull up some charts and let me know what you're thinking. I was looking at the MACDs yesterday. I thought about you. I shot you a message.
Yeah,
we could be on our way down the MACD curl, which is generally pretty bullish. I'd love to get your take and figure out what you're seeing here.
Yeah, so I longed a bunch of stuff on Friday and feeling pretty good about it. I had a thesis earlier this year when we were bleeding out really bad that maybe what happens is by the time we got to end of March, that's why I'm feeling a little too cocky. We would get a temporary bottom and we could see alts rip pretty well. Alts have done okay. We haven't seen that many insane rips. We've seen a couple, but yeah. So what we're seeing on the weekly here, on the MACD curl, we're seeing that bottom forming, and that bottom is forming off of the Bollinger Bands here. And I mean, we can see how much that got respected, right? That was literally the wick at the bottom. This week a retest, this week a retest. So we're getting a nice curl here. Now, what you have to factor in, right, is that just because you get like one positive curl doesn't necessarily mean, like, you can see right here, right? We got many fake outs. So like right here, you're like, okay, cool, let's long, right? Then you get a dump, right? Then like right here, you're like, okay, let's long. And then you get a dump, right? But then eventually it resolves. And then once you got the cross, with the cross almost always being bullish, then we had a massive move up. So what I would say here is that I think it's fairly likely that we will see at or above 95K Bitcoin, right? Because when you see here, when we get these beginnings of curls, we almost always retest, the like average moving line right here, right? So I think it's pretty safe to bet that we're going to get above the blue line. What we're not sure is, right, we're seeing the consolidation of the Bollinger Band starting here. And we saw that big consolidation period last year, right, where we pretty much chopped. And if you look at this price action, right, if you look at this price action from March 2024 to about July 2024, it looks very similar here, right? Where like you're trying to hold above, then you dump down to support, right? And then you chop for a couple of more months, and then you get that next leg up. Excuse me. My point being is that I wouldn't go like banana mode risk on right now, because it's not out of the question that we get to the 94, 95K line, maybe go a little bit above it, and then chop back down, right? So I think on like looking at the next couple of weeks horizon, I'm definitely bullish, and that's why I've entered some longs, especially on the alt side. So I longed Dogecoin yesterday. My Radium long is magically back in the green, despite Pump Swap eviscerating it. I think a lot of alts are doing well. AVAX has got, I think, is one of the best performers in the top 50, up 20%. So we're seeing alts breathing in some side of life. And my whole thesis for longing alts here was that they've been so beaten down and so compressed that aggressive moves to the upside were more likely than continued bleeding. So we've seen Fcoin make a 3x off of the lows. Fcoin did very well off of the lows. So I think the next, couple of weeks look pretty good here. And then the question is, and it's less certain, is like, do we just keep chopping here, or do we just get a clean curl back up? And if we get a clean curl back up, then that's when you're talking about like Bitcoin potentially going to like 150, and seeing things do well across the board. I also was excited to get Tesla at such a discount at 220. It's kind of funny. Tim Waltz is like the Jim Cramer. You know what I mean? Like he Pico bottom made fun of Tesla, up 25% from there. I think that the world is getting the financial world is getting a little better at absorbing Trump's volatility, and his volatility as a president is going to shock the market, I think, less and less over time. So we are having some good setups here, but I wouldn't be surprised for us to like line up with Easy's thesis, which is like maybe we run up until like the middle of April, right? And then we like dump back down a little bit potentially. And then May is where we get some like clean resolution to the upside. But I'm not playing that game. I'm long on some positions now. I'll be happy to take some profits in a couple of weeks. Clemente's got his hand raised. Over to him.
Kicks. So I saw Greeny put out a video this week that he said that he feels that unless Ethereum shows strength, that we might not see an alt season. Do you agree with that? That if ETH just doesn't continue to outperform or maybe rebound, that the rest of the alts can pump?
He is very much right in the fact that a lot of alts are paired with ETH, right? So that is true for alts that are paired with ETH. That is not true, for example, for things that are paired with Solana, right? Yeah. Okay. Like if Solana performs well and ETH lags, Solana alts will do well. If you look at when ETH went up to 4K, right? This move from October to December, that was AI meme coin banana season, right? That's when I'm sharing ETH chart now, Ray. right here from October to November, where it went up and triple tapped 4K. That's when you saw like alts exploding, right? That's when we saw like multiple AI coins go to multiple billions of dollars. So he is very right about that. The nice thing about ETH is that it's gotten beaten down so bad that it's moved to the median, whereas Bitcoin is a 10% move to its median, the blue line. ETH is a 40% move, or actually almost a 50% move to the median, right? So I would not be shocked to see ETH make a aggressive move up to 3K, and that will explode alts. 100%. That will explode alts. But you would need to see that happen. And you can see that with this beatdown, you have an even more aggressive curl forming. So once again, when we saw here, we saw like it beat all the way down here, right? And then it chopped. And then this big run up was a great time to be long alts, right? So I think if we don't even need to go to 4K. I think if we go from 2K to 3K, you're going to see a really, really, really big alt season.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And I mean, if we saw ETH do a nice little 50% gain, I'm curious, like that would be wild to see. When was the last time we saw ETH outperform over a like month-long period of time though? It's been multiple years.
2011.
It probably has it's underperformed everything this cycle, but I mean like this 1 week candle in November, it went from 2,400 to 3,200 in 1 week. So it did a 30% move in a week. And I think with the amount of compression that it's had, it's not crazy to think that it could do a 30% move in a week, that it could go from 2,000 to 2,600, right? Like sometime in the next couple of weeks. And if you see that kind of candle, you would be very happy to be long any ETH based alt.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking at history here, like if we're getting an alt season, like Kix is saying, I have the ETH BTC chart here, and like these generally don't last very long. I have the weekly up, and like you see like a weekly green candle on ETH, and then almost within the next month, it is already retraced constantly. So if you are like seeing this alt season and things explode, maybe a good idea to try to find the top when you're feeling a little bit euphoric and trim bags on the way up, as opposed to being stuck bag holding and potentially just seeing ETH BTC bleed out and then the alt kind of bleed out as well.
Yeah, and I think there is some like bullish like news for ETH. I mean, ETH is just the fact of the matter is ETH is really struggling with this whole L2 strategy. If they had made a different strategic approach, right, and tried to make their main chain way more efficient instead of going for this L2 strategy, you could argue that the price of ETH would be much better. I don't know if it still would have been able to be competitive to Solana. Probably not. But I do think that like things like I think Fidelity is moving its Treasury settlement onto ETH, right? A lot of people are talking about how stablecoins are going to be massive the next couple of years and they're moving to ETH. So I think there is some bullish catalyst to ETH. I do think Solana is still the sexy chain. And I think that is solidified by what we saw with Nikita Bier. Like you should pull up that tweet, Ray. We mentioned it in the weather report, but he basically says he's been neutral to maybe bearish on crypto for a very long time. He's made fun of it a lot.
Now he's bullish Solana, baby.
And now he's bullish Solana. He's an advisor at Solana. He highlights a very interesting product called Time.fun. Which is basically a Pump.fun where you're longing how much per minute people
not so
are
much
worth.
A Pump.fun, just for context real quick, you're paying for people's time. You can use the credits to actually schedule meetings, take calls, get answers to DMs. So there's varying rates per minute to actually get in talk with these people. So it's essentially putting an actual on-chain value to time and what someone's willing to pay for it. Once you're on here, it does release a token for your minutes. So that gets traded. So theoretically, the price can fluctuate. You dictate how much of each of your minutes is worth whatever the response is.
No, but do you just set the base easy, and then as people buy and sell it, your rates go up or down?
Yeah.
But the really cool thing easy is like instead of a meme coin, which is backed by nothing, this is backed by like you can still redeem those tokens for some sort of theoretical value. So for example, like if
And
you
essentially,
bought,
think of it like a virality thing, by the way. Like, think of Nick on here, and he charges you 5 of his minutes for a 30-minute call. When Choose Rich was happening, I think that cost of those 5 minutes would have skyrocketed.
This is similar to like a what's the Cameo almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's probably
in a sense. But like the interesting thing is like if you think someone is, you can kind of, it's a pseudo bet on a person and their popularity, right? Because if they get more popular and influential over time, you could make money and never even talk to them, right? Just by their cost per minute going up, right? But worst case, like if you think like, for example, Tolley, right? His minutes are at 16. If you think
$16 for a minute.
yeah, so so like what I'm saying is the nice thing is when you buy into this worst case, you can in your head, you can justify this being like worst case, like I could just talk to this guy for $400 worth of these tokens, right? Like instead of these things going to zero, you can at least like redeem it for some value. And I'm just bringing this up because he highlighted it in his post. But I think the most significant thing and something that I've been harping in his tweet, he mentions, thanks to Trump, the regulatory landscape for crypto changing in a massive way. And that is going to unlock a lot more innovation. And I think that's massive. And once again, like this guy and his influence as like a viral consumer app creator, he's top 5 on Twitter, maybe top 3. Some people would argue top 1. So for him to like endorse Solana and through that pseudo endorse crypto and say his thesis for this is that he sees the landscape changing. I still think once again, people were trashing Trump's administration so hard just because of price action and not realizing the unlocks that we are going to get. And this is just a perfect example of the unlock that we're going to get. And what I think this means for us as participants is we're going to get just more and more really talented entrepreneurs coming in and experimenting with things on crypto. So I think like just being in this space over the next year, there's going to be tons of opportunities. I'm sure you could make good money on Time.fun, just trading those markets. Maybe the markets are temporarily peaking because Nikita, like how can you get a better endorsement than that? But point being is that I just think that the innovation that's going to come over the next year is going to be massive, and we're going to see really cool products doing really cool things. So I think that backdrop is really awesome over a long-term time frame. So despite me saying like, oh, I think we could have a nice run for the next 3 weeks, right? And then we'll see what happens, right? I think if you zoom out and you're looking over the next year, I think crypto is positioned in a very bullish fashion. I think Solana is positioned in a very bullish fashion. And I think what's exciting is for a lot of people out there, us included, that like to experiment with new things and new exciting D-apps, that's all coming too.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped as well. I just dug in a little deeper. These aren't even like minutes. Like this isn't $16 per minute for talking to Tolley. You use the minutes to purchase like packages. So you need to package up 31.25 of those minutes to DM Tolley.
Got it.
So $500 for a DM to Tolley. You get refunded if he doesn't respond. And then there's a group chat with people who will hold a certain amount of minutes that you can, I guess, connect with him in a group chat to see if he's talking in there or share things in there.
I mean, I think this is the best example. I actually haven't. I want to look into this more. This is really interesting. I think this is the best example we've seen of social fi in like the rooms and stuff. Like this is better than Friend Tech. This is better than the thing we had before where it's like these group chats and stuff and people are doing airdrops to it because you can actually redeem it for something. Very interesting. Yeah, Kicks, I agree 100% with what you're saying about that tweet. I like Reddit. I would like frame that tweet. So every time you feel bearish, you just go back to you're like, yeah, it's just getting started, guys. It's just getting started.
And one of the things, like for me, like a week or two ago, you know, prices were down. I was just kind of thinking about crypto in general, and like one of the things I was a little bit concerned about was like, if the most bullish thing that we're gonna get is like TradFi, like moving their rails onto crypto and stable coins being more popular, that's not fun for any of us. You know what I mean? Like being able to trade treasuries on chain, KYC, that's not why any of us are here, and I don't think that's why any of our audience is really here. So to see the Nikita post was really exciting for me, because I think what it means is, yes, TradFi is going to come and do TradFi stuff, but I think we're going to see a lot of entrepreneurs, innovators coming and doing consumer app stuff. And the consumer app stuff, I think, is where we're all going to have fun.
Yeah, 100% agree. I'm gonna switch gears a bit. I'm gonna rewind. We talked about a ton of stuff in that first like little bit of market recap you did, Kicks. We talked about Radium, Long, and Pump Swap. We talked about Pump Swap yesterday, but it's now done 1.1 billion in volume in the last 24 hours. Comparing that to other dexes, that's almost number 2, just behind Pancake Swap at 1.2 billion. Radium, Meteora, and Orca are combined to do right around the same amount of volume as Pump Swap. So Pump Swap is basically 50% of the LP market on Solana right now, which is pretty crazy. Just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, that's massive. And also, I think it's a big strategy shift for Pump.fun. Previously, they didn't really have an incentive for tokens to do well post-migration. Now they have a financial incentive for tokens to do well post-migration, which is going to impact their strategy and could make for more healthy Memecoin launches via this, and then other stuff launched through this.
Yeah, I mean, they have a ton of money. They just sold another 7 million. I think they've sold about 260 million. I think they still hold another $200 million worth of Solana and stables in terms of like on-chain holdings. Like, if they support some of these meme coins out of the gates and just increase incentives to like buy and hold, continue to trade these pump swap pairs, I mean, there's earning fees on these. Right now, the fee goes, I think, right to Pump Fund, but eventually they're going to change their fee structure. So they're going to have creator revenue sharing. So like if you launch a good ticker on Pump Fund, you'll get revenue sharing on the LP, which I think is very key to like maintaining moat and like avoiding kind of vampire attacks from other launch pads, because it kind of creates a flywheel. Like the main thing you need as a token launching platform are people launching tokens and good tokens on your platform. If you don't have that, you're in trouble. So like if you're launching a token, you need to say, okay, well, where are the least amount of fees? Where can I get enough eyeballs on it? And like, how can I make the most money? And right now, Pump Fun is like kind of dominating like all 3 categories, and like really doing a good job of insulating themselves against competitors, which is definitely a good business strategy, I'd say. And they're absolutely crushing it on fees. $1.8 million in fees yesterday. Wild stuff. And sticking with meme coins, you also mentioned Fcoin and how that kind of bottom ticked. Bonk Guy UniPCs released his thesis on Fcoin. Clemente has been very bullish Fcoin. He shared his $2.2 million per P&L on Fcoin from the bottom. Basically, he gives his thesis here saying he's up 2.2 million on his long, additional 1.2 million when people were screaming he's posting a P&L, so it must be the top. Meanwhile, Fcoin is still down 80% from all-time highs, continues to have one of the largest mind shares of any meme coin, and it's been the most reactive among major meme coins whenever the market bounces. Key show of strength. Continues to talk
great
about
trade.
Yeah, absolutely absurd. Clemente, how you feeling about your Fcoin buy? Where'd you get that at?
I wish I bought more. I didn't buy that much. I don't. Most of my buys, my average is still like in the 600 million range. I think I'm down. During the Trump stuff, I bought more. I bought some like 1.5 million or billion. My price target is still 10. So
Billion?
Yeah, I wouldn't sell any of. I don't have that much. I have $2,000 of this thing right now at current prices. So it's not like
You're break even if your average cost is 600.
So I'm like break even.
That's
right
great.
Now.
Good job averaging down.
Thank you. I think I felt I literally during the huge dump we had, I sold all of my meme coin holdings except for Fcoin. It's the only one I didn't sell. It's the only one I think has a shot at coming back, or at like really coming back. And like my price target is going to be 10 billion. So if it doesn't get there, I'm probably not going to sell. Maybe I think at 5 billion, I would take initials off.
Okay. So you just in 15 seconds, you just halved your.
I would take initials, but the real, like, if this thing hits, take
initials at 5 billion means like you're selling 5% of your bag just to cover your costs, which is just legendary. Like, yeah, it's like, hey, I'm up 15x. I'm gonna take initials here, just like reduce risk a little bit.
Because for me, it's like I wouldn't I want the meme to feel like I rode this. I've never really rode a meme to like high levels.
Yeah.
I always end up.
It's more than money for you. It's like the being right.
Yeah, and it's also like I don't know. I don't want to sound like this. I don't want this to sound weird, but like I don't want to sell this thing for like a 2K gain. If I'm buying meme coins and I'm taking the risk of a meme coin,
Yeah.
I would like to make, to turn 2K into 20K or 2K into 30K.
Yeah.
Selling this thing for like a 10K gain, I'm like, I'm playing the meme coin game. Let's rock and roll. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that, man.
We've talked about this doing a Pepe fractal. We're looking at the daily chart on Fcoin right now. We had that peak over 2 billion, and we've retraced all the way down to 250 million at the bottom.
I mean, that's the thing, is that it like bottomed at 250 and just like held there is so impressive.
Yeah, so like here's the initial Pepe. This is like the weekly on Pepe, where we got to 1.1 and down to 260 before.
Weren't we talking about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, that it was like an identical fractal?
Yeah.
Damn, I should have listened to that more.
This thing ran in a 1 week period. Pepe went from 580 million to 2.5 billion. So essentially,
I think that was maybe a little market making. If you want to see a candle like that, that was hiring one of those market makers.
Then we went down. I mean, then we retraced that to 1.7, and then another candle to 7.
Yeah,
retraced down to 3, and then the final candle to 12. So like
12 is bonkers, dude. I would have been up at half a million.
$10 billion Fcoin, and honestly, I think Fcoin could be a better meme than Pepe. To be honest,
it 100%.
It's a way better meme.
Pepe is ass compared to me. Compared
Bro,
to
You guys
hot
are
air
gonna get
rises.
some ladies all over you after saying that.
But think about it. Hot air rises. What do frogs do besides change gender at will?
Lies.
Can I just point something out? Retire on Dividend has been watching the show since PO was on it. And for the last like 3 days, he's been listening to analysis about Fcoin, about Taproot wizards.
And us yesterday going, ooh.
Retire on Dividend is like looking for like high level crypto analysis from when PO's on the show.
Well, what he's looking for here is he's like, okay, this is a big day. We're ready to lock in. We got PO on. STRF is about to go live. It's been live for 10 minutes now. First day trading on the Nasdaq.
Dividends. PO was here, shirtless in the back room for about half a second.
And he probably heard you guys say what was happening with MicroStrategy today, and he's like, I need to hop off and prepare my puts and my options. Yeah, man, I think like short term, I feel confident. Like Solana going to like 196, 190, I think is very, very doable. I think ETH having a big run is very doable. I think that probably in a couple of weeks we're at a somewhat of a crossroads, and it's going to come down to probably just what's happening in macro. Like, are the Feds cutting rates, right? Like, is tariff fears down, that kind of stuff. But yeah, short term, I think we could see some pretty aggressive moves up. That's going to get people excited.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about getting people excited and short term moves up. You mentioned the Wizards. They sold out yesterday. 1660 of the 1750 slots from the guaranteed mint. So 90 are going on Dutch auction today. Really curious. That starts at 11 a.m. You can pay in Bitcoin or Solana. I'm interested to see how much Solana people.
It's tomorrow, right? Thursday. Thursday, the sale goes live.
Tomorrow. Thursday. Sorry. I was excited. I thought it was going to happen like right after the show. We got to wait another day. Interesting. I minted. I think Clemente minted. PO minted. Not much to say. We talked about this a good amount yesterday, but that concluded yesterday. Most of them minted. Around $21 million raised from this, which is absolutely bonkers.
It's funny just like how absolutely like dead ordinals are, but like you could, we had the OMBs like do a pretty big raise, right? And then followed up Taproot Wizards doing a pretty big raise. Kind of sad that the puppets, you would think if ordinals would come back, the puppets would come back if they still have that loyal community.
Well, my thought process here is that everything's kind of just like, it's like a big, deep breath of air that just happened with what you just said. We had the liquidity suck from OMB, and we had the liquidity suck from minting Taproot Wizards. We're going to see what kind of capital comes in and buys the Wizards. Like, you would think these would be people who are like spending a good amount of capital buying assets from potentially people who are looking at that as like, hey, I just did these videos, I took out a loan, or I scrapped together enough to mint this to turn a few K profit. Those kind of people I think are going to be looking at like, okay, well, I made all this money in Ordinals. Maybe I'll start scooping up some of these cheaper collections with the profits. So my thought process is if Wizards go live and are successful, there's going to be a trickle down effect on these other collections. So I'm keeping an eye out. They held up pretty well. Like I was more concerned that there was going to be like a big like floor suck for these projects
but they're so bottomed out probably.
Yeah, everyone had to like fund those wallets like early this week, late last week, and they weren't like there wasn't a ton of like downward price action on any of these.
Can you look at Bitcoin puppets on TradingView? I'd love to see a MACD on that.
I don't think I can.
Can you show all time on the chart?
Can.
I don't know. That looks pretty. That looks pretty decent to 0.15. Little 3x off the lows.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I bought one. I think around 0.5. I think is where I got
0.05.
0.05. Yeah, right. 0.05. Yeah, 0.15 off the lows. Maybe it's doing another Pepe fractal. Anything that
Pepe fractals everywhere.
I do think as far as like if you look at communities of NFTs that are down 90% from their all-time highs and look at what communities have the highest highest amount of people still rocking that PFP, I would put Bitcoin puppets probably in the top 5, right? For people that are proudly like, yo, I'm down 90% and I'm rocking this thing. I see puppets everywhere still. So very interesting to look at them here. But you have to be willing, I think, to hold this thing for like 6 months to 12 months, and whether or not it'll hold up well against like a Bitcoin pump to like 150K.
I feel like I like OMBs here too. I mean, I see a lot of OMBs on the timeline as well. Lower price point for these higher supply. Arguably better art. Interesting.
Yeah, these look cool. I mean, I like all. I'm
like
very
cool. This is like a pretty cool PFP for like a floor PFP, right? Or am I missing something?
I think it's sick. You
can make a brand around that.
I just like holding the NFT stuff is interesting. I had someone like come up to me, crypto native person recently, and they were like, so what do you own? And I was like talking about crypto stuff. He's like, no, like, do you have any NFTs? Like, I think those are super cool. And it's like the interesting flex is being able to say like, maybe at some point you'll have a PFP, a Pudgy Penguin PFP, and it'll be like, damn, dude, I see you have a Pudgy Penguin. Like, yeah. I think that thesis is going to play out, but it could be like 5 years from now.
That's tough. Well, I think the real thing that could like restart NFTs, because like we're still stuck in this like 10K PFP meta, right? You remember when we were trading like Reddit avatars? I don't know if that was like 2023 or whatever, that like wild little moment of time. I still think that they're like arguably since Axie Infinity in one category, in Bored Apes in another category, we haven't had that like mainstream breakout NFT project, right? But we certainly have on the meme coin front, right? Like Fcoin on MSNBC, right? Like we've seen meme coins permeate mainstream, but this cycle we have not seen an NFT project permeate mainstream. I would wager a guess that probably happens with some sort of structure that is nothing like what we're used to. Nothing like we mint out 10K, that's it, right? I would argue that it's probably going to be more something like an Axie Infinity. Not saying a game, but saying some sort of mechanic that like allows there to, or like Reddit avatars where there's a lot of supply, right? But then like rarity in high prices in some aspects. So I think NFTs could have a season. I think that requires a really creative entrepreneur that launches something that's different, that uses NFTs and can like actually permeate it into the mainstream.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think something like that, maybe you see like, I think it has to involve like social media, like maybe TikTok or something.
Yeah. Like maybe they're like avatars, like TikTok avatar, or I don't know, like some sort of like TikTok sticker that you can put on. I don't know how
Or
TikTok
like,
exactly works.
like an
but,
effect,
yeah.
TikTok effect that just like conveys wealth to like an extent. So like if someone's
Yeah.
rocking like this certain effect or using something, then that like shows it. So like I guess something like that could make sense.
Yeah,
I
because
like,
if you think about it, like NFTs is like Twitter or X,
right.
and that's like a relatively small and very like business orientated of a social media network compared to like an Instagram or like a TikTok. So yeah, I think for like NFTs to really take off, if they're going to be avatars, would have to take off that way, right? But if it's some sort of gamified collectible thing, I mean, look at Pokemon, right? I mean, I think that's been like the NFT dream for such a long time. That's why everyone was so bullish on Parallel, right? Is like, it makes sense that we'll get some sort of like NFT collectible thing that breaks out. The question is what in when. But yeah, I definitely feel good. I'm telling you that the Nikita post really amped me up in a big way. And like that guy, I don't think enough people maybe appreciate that guy's validation to like other entrepreneurs. Like him literally just saying that can literally flip the switch on like 10,000 entrepreneurs to be like, maybe I should look into crypto a little bit. Like maybe whatever I'm building, I could integrate crypto in some way, shape, or form. And that would truly be massive, right? If we see more and more like legit like consumer apps coming out with some sort of like crypto product inside of it.
It would, if I, no, 100% Kicks. The amount of times people have asked me what I do for work, and I say I work in crypto. And out of the 500 times I've done that, 495 have been neutral or negative.
Yeah.
And I think that number is going to change significantly in the next like 2 years. It
100%.
actually has started to recently, but
Oh, it's with price. The how people like crypto is like the price of Bitcoin, essentially.
Well, not even that. I think still in the tech community, it's still looked at as like there's a difference between owning Bitcoin and like being in crypto. And like being in crypto and working in crypto still has like a neutral and negative connotation in the tech circles. It's looked at as like inferior to like, oh, I'm working in AI, right? Or like I'm working in quantum computing, right? And not saying that we're gonna but I just think that the tech perception could be really big, man. I'm excited.
Have you been tracking your position, Clemente?
I have. I almost bought the dip, but I did not. Looking good. Ghibli.
2.2 mil on Ghibli. Nice little 50% gainer right now for you.
The goal is to the goal is 12 mil. And I'm not saying buy this, by the way. I'm not saying to buy this. I'm a moon boy. First take profits are at 5M, initials out, and then 12M. I sell everything and make 25 sold.
Whoa.
Look at that, Wick.
Yeah,
I do think that's why I literally hit up Ray. Like Ray said GM, I'm like, is there a Ghibli coin? Because like if you just went on Twitter, it was everywhere. I could definitely at least seeing it have legs for 20, 24, 48 hours.
Kicks, next time just ping me. Ray, I'm gonna be honest, between you and me, Ray's a little washed.
He felt a little washed. First of all, he's saying GM at like 8:48. I'm like, Clemente's probably already drinking 2 protein shakes, run 6 miles, and traded 6 meme coins by 8:50.
I start socializing at 8:48 because I've been up since 6 a.m. doing a lot of production on newsletter and show.
I like that. Not on the phone, right? Yeah. See, yeah.
We're getting all the comments saying, dude, you work for Botaco's entertainment, not in crypto. Dude, work in crypto. Dude, you create content. You could be in crypto or selling shit.
Here's the thing, man. They're laughing now. This, things start breaking mainstream. We're gonna have NFT cycle viewership again. Thousands of people tuning in, trying to see what the cool DApps are, what the cool things that are happening. I don't know, man. I feel overall pretty good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like not have a negative to to neutral connotation in crypto when you do things like I was like watching March Madness with my friends over the weekend, and like they're like, why'd you dress up as a wizard? Like, and trying to explain that situation to them, like why I did that and like what I then did. It's like, oh yeah, well I did that so that I had the right to give this guy 18K to get this picture. But yeah, look at the picture here. See this? This is it right here. Like this is worth it. This is why I did that.
I mean,
And then they'll be like, that's dumb. And then they'll cook up like a 15 leg parlay for $5 in March Madness to win $10,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, the Taproot Wizard stuff is further along. And the problem is actually with recently, I've been with PO at like meetups and like IRL events, and or we were like touring apartments together. And the lady, like, there was our leasing agent was like, "So what do you guys do for work?" And we were talking about how we were in crypto. You know, I was trying to be serious. PO pulls up. He's like, "Yeah, you want to know what this guy does?" He just pulls up a video of me dancing. He's like, "Yeah, this is what he does every single day." I'm like, "Dog, come on, dude."
They're like, we're gonna need 3 months deposit.
Yeah, they're like, "Okay, we're gonna need the whole year up front."
Do you have collateral for this rental agreement?
So stupid.
Uncle Eth said jelly up 200% in 5 minutes.
Oh, here we go. Sam Lesson must have posted something.
There's your 18K picture, Connor Glenn. Obviously worth it. Let's look at jelly.
Jelly. Damn. Okay, a little pump here, dude.
Yeah, because that thing like rips hard off the
Dude.
lows. That was at like 4 million. Now it's up at like 30.
Nikita Beer may have posted something.
I was gonna say, did Nikita Beer like start advising jelly and like a Solana strategy?
No. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, this looks like a crime candle. I'm gonna be honest. What are we doing here?
Whoa.
I mean, what is going on that we don't know?
Let's take a look at Twitter.
This looks deathly suspicious.
Damn, that's crazy.
Retire on dividends. If you're still watching, this is a classic move in crypto. This is what we call insider trading, in case you're looking here. Very common in crypto.
Because this is a 4x in an hour.
Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's getting short squeezed over some hyper liquid liquidation issue.
Really?
It's a short squeeze. A bunch of people must have been shorting it or something.
Very interesting.
That's absurd, dude. I wish I was smart enough to understand that.
Yeah, Connor Glenn is just saying you're sprinkling in a couple dashes of crime in this chart.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be longing here. That's for sure.
Oh God, what happened here?
I mean, maybe kicks
For the 2x to 90?
Hyperliquid Vault takes a 5 million short position on Jelly as trader self-liquidates himself.
Oh man. Hyperliquid's dealing with some issues.
Hyperliquid was just pumping the hell out of this.
No, they had to take over a short. Oh yeah, you're right. Because then to close the short position, they have to buy.
Yeah. So there's $5 million worth of liquidity into the chart. Right?
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
what we're watching,
You're right,
bro.
actually, to close out the position.
If you're putting in 5 mil, or basically now people are pricing this in, right? So it's
So what happened here? What happened here is someone took out a major short on Jelly, and then took out an even bigger long, like after they liquidated themselves, knowing that it was going to pump. So there's some shenanigans happening with some smart people manipulating hyperliquid vaults. Probably short-term bearish for hyperliquid, I would imagine.
Yeah. This is the hype chart here. I'm going to pull myself back on.
ooh.
Yeah, so an equal crime. So like you could do multiple strategies with this as that trader. Like you don't even need a long jelly on the other side. You could probably just have shorted hyperliquid as well.
Yeah, and have way more size on the short.
Yeah.
And easy to clear the liquidity on that. Yeah, they're dealing with some issues. I mean, here's the thing: like being like a market maker, not a market maker, but being like an exchange that allows perps, right? Is like very advanced stuff, right? When it comes to like managing risk, I mean, this is this is in a sense what blew up FTX, right? Like not apples to apples, right? But like they had a lot of liquidity like attached to their token, right? Or leverage attached to their token, and then that token got attacked and it unwinded everything. But yeah, there's a pretty big dump here.
Yeah, I mean, they might set new lows off of this. I feel like last time we saw this, trying to figure out, because like they basically unloaded like an ETH short. It might have been here late February or maybe here early March.
And the tricky thing for them, Ray, is in order for them to close out this risk, they essentially have to require people to post more margin for longs, meaning that like the attractiveness of then longing on Hyperliquid goes down, right? Like if you can put down 100K and do 10, 20x leverage, right? That's exciting. But then like if they have to reduce the amount of leverage in order to reduce their risk, it kind of like unwinds their product offering in a little bit there. But that's a wild move. Kind of the ETH played out on steroids. There's somebody out there that just decided to long Jelly yesterday randomly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like logging into a 5x. They're like, I'm a genius.
The key to beers here. The key to beers here. Beers here.
Yeah, I knew it.
Innovation's coming.
Innovation.
Oh man, we're also seeing like kind of a little bit of a dump on the on Bitcoin here overall as well. So like, I don't know what's going on. Like if it was timed with the Bitcoin just kind of dumping off, but like we just sold off from almost 88K all the way down below 87K in the last 15 minutes on Bitcoin. So seeing kind of like a market dump.
You know, this Hyperliquid vault is causing market-wide contagion. This is massive, massive news. I mean, we're seeing the same sell-off on the Ghibli coin. You know, this is a catastrophic impact it's having across the market. Sell everything, folks. Sell it all.
I think that's just, I mean, it's probably just exacerbating the pressure on hype is what I'm thinking. Like, not only like did this happen again, but like now the majors are kind of on a little bit of a ride down after a decent night.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about the short term noise. Like I think like on the dailies and stuff like that. I think over the next couple of weeks, I feel fairly confident that we'll see some sort of snapback. And then the real question after that is like, you know, what happens?
Yeah, for sure. And thinking about like long-term long-term buy pressure, et cetera, GameStop approving a Bitcoin Treasury strategy yesterday. Wanted to highlight this. They had last time they released like their financials, they had $4.7 billion on hand.
That's wild, man. Wild turnaround for a company. Don't fade that guy, the Chewy founder,
Ryan Cohen.
Yeah.
Up to 28.85 was the pre-market. We're at $28 now. Up pretty big off of lows around 22 over the last 6 months, low as $20. Hit a high early January of 33. Yeah, this is interesting. Like participating in the Treasury strategy. Everyone does like a lot of math. I mean, Pio does this too for MicroStrategy, where he's like, well, they're going to acquire 1 million Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to $1 million. And like, you can look at GameStop here and they have 4 billion. They're acquiring like 5,000 Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Like you can do all this treasury math when you just assume that the underlying asset's going up over time.
The thing I was thinking about, which I actually want to ask Pio about, is like, if you look at a company that might have less money, right? Or sorry, that might have less Bitcoin. Let's say they have half of the Bitcoin, that 100,000 Bitcoin, but they actually have a profitable business, right? Like they actually have a business that is innovating, that is doing all of these things versus MicroStrategy. I have no idea what they do. I don't know what their business model is right now, but they're just buying a bunch of Bitcoin and their just sole focus is that, versus like, what if a company that's doing X, Y, and Z in AI or whatever it is and is extremely profitable then acquires 200,000 Bitcoin?
Yeah. Because I'd say GameStop is actually pretty comparable to MicroStrategy in the sense of like, it's a shit business. Like they have a lot of cash, but they have a shit business model. So like investing cash into their shit business model is like probably negative EV, right? Like a stock buyback with the cash is like neutral EV. So like honestly for them, longing Bitcoin, if they're bullish on Bitcoin going up, is probably the best thing that they could do with their cash and therefore their stock price. So they could literally be like a MicroStrategy mini where it's just like they have a business that's like nothing, right? But then they can do some interesting treasury management. I'm with you, Clemente, though. It would be a lot more exciting for like an AI or exciting AI company to open up a big Bitcoin position. But the thing is for those types of companies that are growing so fast and have a really successful product, it's more profitable for them to take their cash and put it back into growing the business.
Exactly.
As opposed to buying Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's almost a strategy. Like this would never happen until maybe he died. But like a Berkshire Hathaway that's sitting on like $180 billion worth of cash, right? And they're just like, what could we do with it, right? They're like out of options of things that they could do with it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think also, Clemente, when you're saying like, what if a business has like an actual business behind it, and then they buy all this Bitcoin? I think by the time anyone else acquires that much Bitcoin, MicroStrategy is going to have a business with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
their business model is going to be not just acquiring Bitcoin; it's going to be leveraging that Bitcoin in interesting ways to generate revenue.
Making Bitcoin sandwiches.
Yeah,
Bitcoin headphones.
Bitcoin freight trains.
Yes, logistics.
All of that as well. Wanted to highlight that. Let's see what else we have here. I'm going to run through some quick stories so everyone's up to date, and we can stop after that, or if we want to talk deeper on any of them. We had a decent amount of stablecoin news over the last 24 hours as Custodia and Advantage Bank launched the first bank-issued stablecoin in the U.S. Fidelity is also closing in on launching their own stablecoin. The CME Group, this is the futures group out of Chicago, partnered with Google Cloud to introduce blockchain tech into their platform, which is interesting, moving a little bit of their payment and financial rails onto the blockchain. Pump.fun, we talked about this earlier, sold or deposited/sold 7.8 million to Kraken. Total deposits into Kraken up to 293 million now from Pump.fun, absolutely raking in the cash. We saw the total Memecoin market at $11 billion over the last 4 days. And Azuki announced their TCG pre-orders are beginning tomorrow. Anything else you guys want to discuss before we wrap the show today?
I think it's a good show.
Yeah, I think
I don't need to drag it on anymore.
Yeah, we'll end it nice and dense. Thank you all for listening. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time each and every weekday. You can listen back on podcasts, listen on Spotify, on Apple, watch us back on YouTube, watch Kick's chart in real time, see all of his lines, see the Bollinger Band, see the MACD crosses. Thank you all for joining. We'll catch you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Wednesday.